What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Guys. I am Carlos,
I'm Alvin.
I'm Sunny.
and we are the Sci-Fi Guys, and we are here for another awesome episode. I know we're low energy right now because it's late, and I guess we're tired and things been going on. But what's up, man? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, great.
Cool.
I'm ready to get this going.
I can't complain. It's been a fruitful day.
It's been fruitful. How's everybody weekend?
Short. Especially when you're running errands for everybody else, so you don't get your weekend downtime.
I know. Tell me about it. I had 2 weeks. This past week is my first week back at work, and I had 2 weeks off, and that seemed like this just flew by. So I mean, it's not like I did anything. I didn't do anything, but still. What you say? What? I had my granddaughter over and everything, and the holiday and everything was great. It just flew by. So, but back to work, and then you got to get used to these 2 days off again. Having 2 weeks off.
Back to the real world.
Back to the real world. So, but hey, I get a whole nother 2 weeks this year to take off. But hope maybe I'll do it sooner in the year, and not wait so late in the year. But okay, I mean, we got a few things to talk about. I think the main thing I want to get talking about is Dr. Umar Johnson. For those who don't know, he's about Marcus Garveyism, which is he's a Pan-African, and he's pretty much about black people being about black people. Same way Jewish people about Jewish people, Asian people about Asian people. A lot of other cultures about their culture. So that within itself, I'm cool with. I like. There's other things that he talks about that I don't necessarily agree with, and the only reason I'm doing this, I'm only doing it because he's talking about Wakanda forever and his aspects of it. So he's going to say some things that I don't necessarily agree with. We don't necessarily agree with, but I just want everybody to focus on the sci-fi part of it. Now, once he makes the point that I'm getting to, I'm going to stop it. Now, if you want to hear more of it, you can go find it. I'm not going to put a link out to it. I'm not going to do anything like that because he can get pretty deep off into some other stuff that, like I said, that I don't agree with, and I can't speak for Alvin or Sonny, but I think Sonny hasn't really heard of the man that much, but I'll let them speak for themselves about it. But like I said, I'm not going to get into the political part. This is the sci-fi guys, not the political guys, and we're not going to do all that. So, but yeah, he has some interesting stuff to say about the Wakanda Forever. So I'm laughing because I heard a little bit snippets of it already. Alvin has as well, but
yeah,
but the point that he's made, I mean, Alvin had this conversation before, and that's why I don't want to play it. But here we go. I'm going to play this part.
Talk about Black Panther 2. Wakanda Forever. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. My Black Panther 2 analysis. I have a 3-hour breakdown of the first Black Panther on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go find it. I didn't like Black Panther 1.
Yeah, he did. Like I said, he did have a 3-hour analysis. So, but listen. He's a very intelligent guy. People use their intelligence in different ways. And you can have intelligent discussions about things that might not be so intelligent.
right.
Everybody can do that. I mean, you can pick patterns out of the universe that may or may not be true. You can pick things out that, should be discussed or shouldn't be discussed. Again, we're the sci-fi guys. We're not the political guys. So I'm going to play a little bit more. Like I said, when he gets to the point, I'm going to cut it off.
Because the messages were horrible. CIA agents were friends of the Wakandans. CIA agents were responsible for the assassination of nearly every major black leader we had in the 20th century. They made the Wakandans look selfish, like they didn't care about American Africans. They made Killmonger the symbolic representation of the African-American alpha male who was conscious. They made him into a killer and a disrespecter of African culture. I thought the themes in Wakanda were horrible. There was no romance, no intimacy, no love, no black woman with a child in the whole movie. Black Panther 1 was a political nightmare. Now let's go to Black Panther 2. No disrespect to the Mexican community.
When he says no disrespect, he means all disrespect intended.
All disrespect, right.
Okay, so again, we're the sci-fi guys. We are not the political guys. So whatever he's about to say, we do not endorse it. Just preparing everybody. We embrace everybody.
No disrespect to the Mexican community. No disrespect to the Mexican community. You have a right to your own heroes, and Mexican children have a right to see their heroes in their own image. I totally support the right of Mexican children to see heroes in their own image. So respect to the Mexican community. With that being said, I did not take my children to see Black Panther 2 so they can watch Mexican superheroes whip the shit out of black superheroes. I'm going to say it again. And I don't care who don't like it. As far as I'm concerned, it was a total disgrace to watch a movie where everything black children held sacred about the Wakandans was shown to be possessed by the underwater Mexicans. Vibranium was supposed to be native to Wakanda, but Ryan Coogler and whoever else wrote that horrible screenplay gave the underwater Mexicans vibranium too and made them as strong as the Wakandans. Why would you build up Black Panther as strongly as you did in the first movie only to turn around and tear the damn thing down? The Mexicans were clearly stronger than the Africans in that movie.
All right, that's where I'm going to stop it. Me personally, I have not heard anything past that point myself. So I don't know what else. He might make some other points, but that's where I'm going to stop it. So, Alvin, you had a lot to say a minute ago before we started. So I'm going to let you.
This is my take. And we are dealing with fictional characters. And in an effort to make a movie, it just seems like he's trying to make this thing real life. And you got to have, there is no superhero movie out to where, in any race, that the superhero dominates the whole movie. You beat the hero, and then the hero makes a dramatic return and ends the conflict. Now, he doesn't seem to me, and I don't know him personally. I've heard some of his ideas, which they may intrigue some people. They don't intrigue me at all. I feel like he's borderline racist. I don't know if he's a comic book. I don't know if he enjoys comic books or if he's read comic books. He doesn't seem to be the type to me.
I don't know either. That's something I'm gonna touch. Go ahead and finish though.
Comic books seem to be below him, but he's taking this idea and this movie in a direction to where we're supposed to beat our chest and we're never to be defeated. He is and he can have his own views, whether he wants to take his children to see it or not. I believe he ought to just kept his mouth shut. And you can disagree with the movie and not take your kids. That's your own prerogative. But when you have a lot of followers and some who are brainwashed, they listen to him, they listen to Kanye, they listen to all of these people without actually sitting down and having a two brain cells to rub together and come to their own conclusion. You know, we don't spew what we don't tell you not one time, don't go see this movie. I've seen movies that people have said that they didn't like, and I thoroughly enjoyed them.
Right.
All three of us have disagreed on movies, but I've never said don't go see it.
Right.
I think
again, I understand how you feel and about I just want to let everybody know again, we're not the political guys.
We're not political. I'm basing this off of my own. I am a comic fan,
right?
And we've been shouting for years before Marvel got up and started doing these movies. Oh man, I wish they started making some movies that we'd like to go and see. You know, from this comic book aspect. And when they finally do it, everybody is nitpicking and this and that, and it ain't right. It's not by the comic. That's trash. The TV shows are trash. Keep your mouth shut. Because what happens when they decide you don't have the money to make the movies? I guess we go back to reading comic books and discussing what if they would have done this? What if they would have done that? I wish they start making these movies again. Sometimes people just aren't satisfied. Whether it goes your way or not, keep your mouth shut. Enjoy the movie. If you can have an opinion on the movie and say, I didn't care for it. I think they did, I like this movie better. Because there are some Marvel movies that I don't like. But you know what? I'm hoping that they make the next one, a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Sonny, you got something, or you want me to go ahead and go?
Oh, no. Here's my thing. And just to reiterate, we are the sci-fi guys, but not the political guys. But I will say this. What he is doing is stupidity on display. And unfortunately, is no matter how many degrees you have, how smart you think you are, sometimes people educate themselves out of common sense. I've seen it happen more and more. It is a movie. It is entertainment. He has overanalyzed the fact that this dude has a 3-hour analysis or an hour and a half, 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Of the first movie.
Of the first movie. Yeah. It says something right there. I mean, I'm speechless really, because I really want to say who cares, but my concern.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw about 20, 30 minutes of his 3-hour analysis. He started getting off into some other stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It had he had some very interesting points, and when he was doing the correlation between Wakanda and Africa and everything, and a lot of it was educated, but of course, like I said, with him, he starts off in a good direction, then he makes this hard left. Then I'm like, oh man, I gotta get off the bus. I just gotta get off the bus. But
well, here's the thing. I've never heard him, and it's probably intentional. The reason I haven't heard him for all the other stuff, right. But I hate when people try to politicize everything. It's a movie. It's for entertainment purposes only. When you look at the movie, anybody who is, and I'm gonna go on a limb and say that he is not a comic book reader, because if he was, this would be a non-issue. this would even be in a discussion, because every superhero, be it Wakanda or Superman, has a villain.
Right.
So, what are we going to start saying? That, he'd probably get on in and talk about how he is insulted because the Kree came and beat up everybody, and it's an insult to everybody else because Kree kids seem to be stronger. And I mean, come on now, and it is an insult. Every time somebody says, "What did he say?" I'm not trying to, no disrespect intended or no
disrespect intended. He said it 3
it's
times.
disrespect about to come. It's disrespect about to come. I'm just speechless. I hate that even has come up. The thing is, there's some people that's going to listen to that, and they're going to carry it on.
Well,
and they're going to move on with it. So,
well, here's my thoughts. And I've been listening to Dr. Umar off and on for the last 2 or 3 years. And like I said, when it comes to certain things, he has some valid points. But he always, somewhere when he's talking, he makes this hard left, like I said earlier, where I just got to get off. I'm just like, all right, you lost me on that. Now, let's talk about the CIA agent thing first of all. Okay, we do know it's fact, and it's been spoken on out in political arenas that CIA brought cocaine and crack into the neighborhoods and everything. It's one of the things it's one of those known facts. People, reporters have written about it. It's known. The fact that they have one CIA agent on their side that they're using as an ally does not mean that they're going along with the whole agency. First of all,
but here's the thing: it's fiction.
That's going to be my last point. You're getting ahead of me. But I'm staying within the story realm right now. And in this second movie, it shows that his alignment helped him and how the CIA was actually against Wakanda.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So the guy, I forget his name, was actually sided with Wakanda, and they helped him out. And he helped him out. So it wasn't the whole CIA agency, it was just that one guy. So that's my one point. This is my second point. And this is just me sticking to the sci-fi of the story. Yes, he was right. And me and Alvin had this discussion after the movie because I know he was here because when he came here to Knoxville to watch the movie with me. And I said the fact that my problem with the story is that there's only one person with super strength in Wakanda, and that's the Black Panther. Whoever is the Black Panther. If the King's Guard, the Okoye and all them, if they were able to drink the serum and everything, they will have more superpowered people that'll help defend. I made that point when Alvin was here, and I kind of agree with the fact that Alvin was right. There has to be something that you have to overcome. There has to be, the drama. There has to be drama there. There has to be some kind of conflict, because if the movie was all, a breeze and Black Panther just kicked everybody in the face and everybody just and won, the movie would just be 5 minutes long.
And on top of that, with Marvel movies, I mean, let's look at the protagonist, at the antagonist. Let's look at Namor. I mean, the backstory was awesome, and it made you feel for the folk. It made you feel for, and I keep wanting to say Atlanteans because in the movie that's what they were. I mean, excuse me, in the comic book, they were Atlanteans, right. But it made you feel for the people, even though what they were doing was crazy and they were ruthless on some stuff. I mean,
right.
But you felt that you had feelings for them. You understood what they were going through, even though you didn't agree with what they were doing.
Well, if you look at the story though, they show the parallels between the both, you know, the Atlanteans. We're gonna go with that,
right?
And Wakanda. Namor is trying to help his people, you know, survive.
Right.
They both have the people's best interests at heart.
And the only difference between Wakandans and the Atlanteans were Wakandans made themselves known to the world.
Right.
Atlanteans don't want to.
Right, but Wakanda was the same way up until a point. But my other point was this as well, is that you're right. They're building the parallels to show how the similarities and different conflicts they were going through. But they weren't simply getting their butt beat because of that. You know, Namor and his people were stronger. It was because, you know, their king had died.
Yeah,
and then
they had other things. Wakanda had other things.
Yeah,
going on.
The thing that was holding them so close had perished. You know what I'm saying? So you lost your king, now you lost your queen. So you're not going to be that stable. And Shuri was not sure of herself. You know what I'm saying? So
now, she was with both,
and she's grieving on both sides, the brother and the mother.
All that. So it's not like they were just simply weak and they just got their ass kicked. It's just like, okay, first they were blindsided. They didn't know what the hell going on. And then when they were blindsided during a bad time, and then that bad time got worse. You know what I'm saying?
Had Chadwick Boseman lived, would the storyline had gone in a little bit different direction?
No,
I mean, you still would have had Namor.
It'd have gone in a dramatic different direction.
You still would have had Namor. But it wouldn't have been this. I think with Chadwick passing, there had to be a humanistic.
But another thing
of the film,
I think that he's focusing on that
was done.
Another thing that he was focusing on too much, that Dr. Umar made a mistake of saying, you know, that you know, there was weaker, but one thing I learned about, you know, about Black people, about minorities in general, the things that we go through make us stronger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It makes us more. It makes us. You know, the fact that yes, the Atlanteans, they were stronger, but Shuri was able to defeat him with, you know, with her mind.
Right.
She came up with a plan to defeat him, to make him submit. You know what I'm saying? And she also, when she saw, you know, for those, I know I'm giving some spoilers away for, you know, for those who haven't seen the movie so far, shame on you. If you haven't seen it, so, you know, that's your fault. But when she took, you know, drank the flower, and she saw Killmonger in her dream, you know what I'm saying? She had every right to just go Killmonger on everybody. She felt that. She wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But she overcame all that. And then she thought of a way to make him submit instead of killing him, and make him and make peace with them and everything. And, you know, I think people really don't give enough credit for things like that. You know, you have a more powerful being or more powerful, you know, group over here, and someone able to think their way out of a situation instead of going over there and, you know, getting their own people slaughtered.
Even still, she saw her people in the Atlanteans, because she was captive by them for a while, and she got to go through and see the children swimming and see the culture that they had, and had an understanding of what Namor was trying to protect.
Right.
It wasn't that he was just on some power struggle and he's going to do this, and this. It was like, you know, Namor was a little mad because he was like, we're going to come together with you and us, and we can take over the world.
Right.
You know,
he just had a deep passion for his people. It was a blind, deep passion.
Right. And she's looking at herself and her kingdom in the same light. Now, would I she might be asking herself, would I go through these extremes to protect my people?
Right.
One thing that I did notice, the battle between Namor and Shuri was done alone. They
Right.
were fighting away from people, so they didn't see the humiliation and the defeat of their king.
Right. Right.
And when he came back, when both of them came together and they said, stop, we're gonna, this battle is over.
Yeah, we're gonna piece it out. Yeah.
We're gonna piece it out. His people didn't say, no, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna continue to slaughter, because they had him in the sea. They had him defeated.
Right.
I see two things too when you look at both of these cultures. First of all, I don't necessarily think that one was more powerful than the other, just from a strict standpoint. I think how they approached dealing with others was different. The Atlanteans used brute force with those water bombs and all that, whereas the Wakandans had technology. They had, we know they had agents everywhere. They were a lot more subtle with what they did, and they were at a loss because they were grieving.
Right.
So because they were grieving, they ended up being caught by surprise.
Exactly.
Because they were grieving, and at one time, neither culture knew about the other. So you kind of caught that, which was unique. But what really showed me how similar yet different both are were the points of what made them decide to go back and not be seen. With the Wakandans, with the first movies, we know that they saw everything that was going on outside the world. They saw the colonizers, as they called, and they chose to just keep what they had where they were. They probably could have easily been the world power with the technology they had if they chose at that time. But they said, I don't want to be a part of that world. With the Atlanteans, they came up and they saw, apparently at just the wrong time, the actual worst being done in their land to their people. Right. When they were willing, he just wanted to bury his mother. And they saw the worst that was going on. And whereas the Wakandans chose to withdraw, the Atlanteans chose to kill everybody that was there.
Exactly. I mean, and the only threat was that was there because of their land being discovered by the world.
Right.
So when they can prove that they can perfectly defend themselves.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is when he was going to bury his mother, he was a child and he thought like a child.
Right.
So there was no maturity in his understanding. Now, when in Wakanda's transformation, they were always led by a
mature leader.
A mature leader.
Right.
Now, this is Namor's first time as being, because at that time, he's the strongest. He's a child. He's the strongest. These people are worshiping him, and they're following him to with reckless abandonment. Right. Whatever Namor says, that's what we're doing.
Right. In their mind, he's a god.
Right. So, there are different aspects of this thing. We're dissecting the movie, but I just want to get back to Dr. Umar because this is.
Well, I want. That's the only thing I wanted to do because you like to say we can. Yeah. When you dissecting Dr. Umar, you can get into a realm that it just.
I don't want to. Trust me, my brain. I don't want to dissect or because I'm not in the understanding of him. Yeah, he makes some good points, but I'm just saying as far as this movie and his words and his feelings about the movie, let that be your feelings about the movie.
Right.
They're talking maybe Oscar nominations for what is her name, the queen,
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
She did an amazing job. I mean, and tearing down this black film, when are you going to build up some of these black, people in the film? I'm not taking my, okay, well, they're going to miss out on this woman doing a fabulous role.
I mean, that's a moot point for them. But here's my thing: a lot of people, I've seen some intelligent conversations held by Tom and Jerry cartoons about the black people were Jerry the Mouse and Tom the Cat were white people. I'm like, it's a Tom and Jerry cartoon. What the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And
they're gonna correlate. They're gonna correlate everything to whatever they're trying to get across.
I've seen people take a good number of movies and make a correlation to it about race and different political things. And I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not the person who's going to look at, like I said, I don't look at everything and try to read the sands and try to predict the future and get all the correlation out of everything. Sometimes the rose is just a rose. Sometimes the thing is just.
Oh no, we're going back into slavery. You didn't see what they did in that movie. We're going back in slavery.
I know, but the thing
some people just.
But the thing about it is
too smart for their own goods. They're so smart, they're idiots.
Yeah, I know. The thing about it is that sometimes we just get to a point where when it comes to ourselves, when we see images of ourselves, we only want to see it in a certain way. And if anything doesn't go that way, then it's wrong. We only want to see ourselves as kings and queens, even though there's some people that act less than king and queen. You know what I'm saying? It's just the facts. There's not everybody is not, it can't be held at that high standard because they don't want to be at that high standard.
Well, I think you know what the point to be made is the wonderful thing about Black Panther is it lets people who aren't often able to see positive, strong imagery of themselves. See positive, strong imagery of themselves. And it's a shame that you have people that want to knock that down. I mean, you know what? Dude doesn't have to do it. There's more than enough people already doing that. I've heard some folks do it. I know people that I've had to come back and explain to them that, you know what, this character was done in the 60s. I've had people who want to try to equate Black Panther with the Black Panther movement, and I have to explain, no, that's not the case, and all that.
They hear Black Panther and they just run off.
It's enough people who are who are trying to tear down what it is. Now, I think the movie speaks for itself. One of the highest grossing Marvel movies. Great writing, great directing, and I'm going to say it. You got a Black director. Black cast, you got imagery that is pulled from different authentic African cultures. I mean, wow. And so to hear someone, and I'm always concerned when it's someone who is supposedly very learned. And I say supposedly because, like I said before, no matter how many degrees you have, if you don't have common sense, you're still dumb as a rock. And a lot of times that's what ends up happening is people, I used to say people educate the common sense out of themselves, but I've changed that because I'm a lifelong learner myself. I think that these folks didn't have some common sense to begin with. And that is the problem. And you can be too centric on something that you don't see. You don't see outside of your cause. You can't see past the cause. I think that's what this is. And like I said, my issue is you got people that listen to him. Just like Kanye, you got, no matter how small, you got some people that are going to be misled by him. They're going to take the fun out of stuff. I mean, I equate that to this, the debate with cosplay. You have people who want to say, well, a black person can't cosplay a Superman, or a fat dude can't cosplay any superhero. That's not
the intention of
that is
cosplay.
not the case. No. I mean, enjoy the things.
We're doing this sci-fi stuff, dressing up, movies, comic books, novels, all of this as an escape. Yeah. And when you're trying to bring what we're trying to escape from into it, what good is it?
I mean, I'd rather you stay out of it.
A lot of people can say that about the same thing about, let's say, sports, for instance, because, and I don't want to venture too off because I think we're going to get to that political thing, but people can say same thing when they're watching sports, because when you see somebody kneeling during the national anthem, that's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? You're bringing that thing you're trying to escape to the game, and it's all entertainment and everything. I think the thing about it is we don't need to take certain things as far as certain imagery in a movie. I don't think there was anything. I didn't see anything degrading in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? If there was something totally degrading, I can say, okay, yeah, you're right. I just saw a bunch of strong people, strong minorities, both Mexican and black people. Strong, and I say minorities, but there's it's not Africa. There's no minorities, black people in Africa, but I'm just saying people of color that are getting over a big struggle in their own ways. You know what I'm saying? The Wakandan people are getting over the big struggle of losing these big fish. Because if you want to be honest with you, you got King T'Chaka, King T'Challa, and and I forget Angela Bassett's character name in there. They all three of them were lost. You know what I'm saying? So they just didn't lose 2; they lost 3, and so that whole nation is rattled. Then Namor and his people, his mom died, and the colonizers there was fighting the people. They got over their loss, and he built up a strong community in Atlanta, in Atlantis, and then getting his people stronger. And they're both about their people. The Wakanda people are just opened up to the world, and Namor it was closed off to it. So they were still a little behind. Now I think they're going to open up a little bit now with it. But the thing about it is, it's just like, even in that struggle, like for me, I just saw Shuri, who was getting over all this loss, getting herself together, getting her people together, and donning the mantle, stepping up to the plate, and again with her brilliance, in the first 5 minutes she made a cure for cancer or what. I'm not. They didn't say the name of the disease. I'm just saying cancer because that's what Chadwick had. But she found a cure, within the first 5 minutes of the movie. You know what I'm saying? But it was too late. He had passed.
But in the movie,
huh?
The movie's a tear. Well, I mean, it can be a tearjerker.
But I'm just saying, it showed her brilliance, and I want, like I said, I'm looking at them, I'm like, dang, that's brilliant. And I'm looking like, oh dang, and they got the they butt beat it, they butt beat. And I'm like, well, she did dominate them in the end, because I thought, I'm like, there's no way she's gonna beat him. But but I know that I knew that she was, but I'm just saying, but she defeated him with her brilliance and everything. So I'm like, that stuff should be celebrated. So there was nothing in the movie that happened that was like demeaning or insulting the black people. Get what I'm saying?
And I think the movie was well thought out and well written, because I'm wondering, okay, all the flowers are destroyed. Right. What are they going to do? Back? How they going to get it back?
That actually tied in the culture so well. I mean, that tied in the culture so well. Right. You found the DNA to bring back what Wakanda had lost, right, in a gift from the Atlanteans. Right. And I just want to touch on something right quick too, for folks that may come in on this and say, well, we're being politically incorrect by saying Mexicans, because the movie, because you said, well, Latinos or Latinas, but you're saying Mexicans. Well, we're saying Mexicans because in this movie, the Atlanteans were deprived from the Aztec,
Right.
from Mexico.
Right.
So in this aspect, when Los or me or Alvin are saying Mexicans,
Right.
it is the correct terminology.
Exactly, because that's where it derived from. But like I said, everybody, I can't tell anybody what to think, what to love, and what to focus on. I'm just saying, if you're not focused on, the overcoming of the struggle, the brilliance, the strength, and the culture in it, and you're just focusing on these other things, and you're not giving other things light, then you're doing it a disservice. Yeah, it's
Right.
not. Yeah, the storyline is not going to go your way. What storyline does go your way? That even movies
Right.
movies that I absolutely love, the storyline didn't necessarily go my way. It just happened to okay, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just if I don't know, but like I said, the reason I brought it up because like I said, it's the science fiction part of it, and he touched on a part that I agree with. Like that I think more people should be in Wakanda should be stronger, and I think they after this they probably do that. That's my thing. I think more people should drink the juice of the flower and everything. That's just
I don't, because they've lived years by tradition, and they're not gonna change tradition now just to build some super serum for soldiers.
Open up to the world. They broke the
Yeah,
tradition.
but
that's different though. I mean, the tradition is being that the king has always drunk the flower. It's not like Asgard where everybody in Asgard would compare to humans. Anybody in Midgard is a superhero, even if all you do is just wait tables.
Yeah, they're
Wakanda, there are traditions there, and the tradition is that the protector of Wakanda drinks that juice, and that's always
also
been
the tradition was that the Black Panther can only be a male.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, hey,
no, what you can say is tradition can be broken. That's what you can say.
Well, traditions can be broken, but not
always be broken. But apparently, not drinking that nasty.
That's my only argument. That's my only argument. And especially if you're the ruler, if you're the king, you can say what is and what isn't.
And it's been what isn't for the all the centuries.
Until it changes. That's my only thing. And I say when you see something that isn't working, and tradition says we traditionally we do this. Well, as times change, your tradition has to change. You have to adjust with the times. You're getting more powerful people in the world. Maybe we need more powerful people to protect us. That's the only thing I'm saying. So, but like I said, that's the only thing I want to bring up on that. And I'm gonna get off Dr. Umar. God bless him.
I'm a step away just for a minute, just because I want to grab a couple things.
Okay. All right. On to the next topic. Dave Bautista. He's leaving the MCU, and I read an article. He's saying that he's getting tired of doing the Drax character, and he kind of wants to do more serious roles. Because Dave Bautista, for those who don't know, he was a big star in the WWE. He's a wrestler, just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson turned big time actor rather. And became a big star because of his role Drax. I don't know if anything that he did before Drax. I think he was. There was one or two roles he did do before that. I'm not gonna look him up. I mean, if anybody knows it, please put it in the comments and everything. But like I said, he wants to move on to more serious stuff, and he doesn't want the Drax thing to be his legacy. He doesn't want to be like
typecast.
Yeah, typecast. Like Captain Kirk was to what's his
Star
name?
Trek.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be that. So, which I don't think him being classified as Drax would be a bad thing. I mean, I think he did the role great myself.
I never understood that typecast thing. I'm like, you still getting paid, right?
Yeah, but sometimes people want to move on. I understand.
Yeah, they want to move on, but
it took William Shatner a minute to be okay.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name.
With that being typecast thing, it wasn't until somebody convinced him to go to a convention because he thought, that all convention folks are weird.
Yeah. Well,
And it wasn't until somebody
We
convinced him to go to a convention
yeah.
and he saw how much folks loved him that he changed that thing to
it took him a couple of decades to embrace it.
Now, because he turned down going to conventions for years.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Dave's movie base, and other than Guardians of the Galaxy, the stuff that he did beforehand wasn't really all that great. I mean, you got some movies here that I've not heard. Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I heard Army of the
Dead. It's not a whole lot.
Heard of Army of the Dead?
No, when I say I haven't heard of it, it's not. It wouldn't be a blockbuster. I've seen it. It's okay.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna let this one go for a second. I'm gonna get back in because you had to have heard of Army of the Dead.
Look, I'm just merely talking about what he's been in.
Right.
It's been, blockbuster. He's saying he wants to move to something else. Dude, move to something else. It's not like they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie every day. You got a whole lot of other Marvel actors, a whole lot of MCU actors who have used this thing as a springboard, and they're still doing their thing. But hey, maybe he has enough money. I don't know. I've never been in that position.
There's a lot of them that's did well. They're especially eating well off of it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it just depends. Like when you become like an actor, you're an aspiring actor, and you probably go on and you probably in your mind you want to be this great thespian and do all these amazing roles and everything, and one day they give you this role and it's in your mind it's silly, and you don't take it too serious, then the world knows you for that thing and for that role, and then that's the only thing that you are known for. Then that role, goes away for whatever reason, whether you die in it or whether the movies wrap up, and then you move to something else, and then everybody that you audition for, they can only see you as that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't, and not because it was awful, because it was great. Everybody loved it.
Yeah,
you did such a great job that's the only thing that they can see you in.
Right. Like, Drax is a mainstay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like say, with Captain Kirk and with Spock, with who else? What's the name of Harry Potter? There's a lot of great characters and great stories where we can only see that actor as that person. We can't see them as anything doing anything else. Not say they can't get anything or they can't do anything else. So I can understand why he would want that. The only thing I can't see is when you're coming from wrestling,
right?
When you're coming from wrestling and you say that, so
yeah,
because wrestling is all about cheesy storylines and this and that.
Yeah, acting,
and
I think everybody aspires to be. I think it seems to me that a lot of wrestlers aspire to have rock-like success.
Yeah, that's what the goal. But I'm saying you're running around in tights and you're fake fighting and all this other stuff. It's just like,
well, you know what? That even started before The Rock. Carlos, you remember when we watched what was that movie called? They Live. With Roddy Piper with the glasses, he'd see the. That was actually good, right? That was good. That's what I'm saying.
Kick butt and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
But the thing about it is, that was hold on. I'm glad you said that. That was actually a good sci-fi movie because because before that, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the time when I thought wrestling was real. You know what I'm saying? So seeing Roddy Piper really act up there, I'm like, dang, he's really a good actor. And I'm like, I don't understand, it really amazed me that he was such a good actor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then once you understand
that,
okay.
We didn't understand they're acting in the wrestling because they got to play these big characters. Especially that wasn't him. Yeah.
He's a heel.
Yeah.
You gotta be a good actor to make people hate you on that level in the wrestling business. You gotta do that. So all they're doing every day, all day is acting. They're being these, these extra large characters. So So it is a natural transition. But the thing about it is, like I said, wrestling is kind of a, you know, I don't mean that's an insult to any wrestlers. It's a silly place. It's a silly thing. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into this environment, when I say silly, I mean it's all playful. Like you're saying, you play fighting, you're dressing weird, you're talking weird, you're saying things that you don't normally say in any other environment.
And most of them hate the character.
Right, and most of them hate the character. So then when you transition into being an actor, you kind of think, oh, they don't care about being this weird character. You know what I'm saying? They don't care, but but like I said, he wants to do something serious. I think the biggest thing is like me speculating, just us speculating about Guardians of the Galaxy. Since this is Dave Bautista's last movie, not being an MCU, and do we believe this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, or do we believe that?
I don't.
Okay.
Well, I thought I heard some places this was supposed to be the last one.
This is what I think, because even in the comic book, there's been, just like the Avengers, there's been different groups, you know, superheroes in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So you know, you got Adam Warlock coming. He was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think me and Carlos talked about this at one time. I think Marvel is transitioning away from the big three: Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, because they have so many heroes and villains. Why keep doing the same hero and villain? Let's pull some of these other characters in here, because what that does is that allows Marvel and Disney to put more books out, because you don't want to put a movie out and not have a book out on the shelves or you know, merchandise or whatever. They have great storytelling. They have a way to bring these characters in, just like Ironheart was brought in through Wakanda Forever, you know, and even the TV shows. You know, you have the avenue to bring. That way, you don't have to. You know, as actors, they get old and they don't, you know, older. And they don't, just like Batista, don't want to do the part anymore. You can safely transition one hero for another, because, you know, in these groups we had multiple. You know, it wasn't just a set group of people, just not like the Fantastic Four. Now, there's been different members in the Fantastic Four, but the Avengers has a big role, you know, that they can call on. The Defenders had a bunch of members, and now, you know, you Guardians of the Galaxy. So what that does is allow you to sign an actor to a 3-4 movie deal with some TV or whatever. And when those actors get tired, well, you have a way to bring in another character, because all we have to do is sit down and say, oh, okay, how do we write you out of it? You know, your 3 movie deal is up. Would you sign another one? What do you want to do? And you know, more power to him. If he wants to expand his acting and go on to other things, you know, we wish him well. We hope that he gets the you know, he gets some parts that will continue to show him recognition. I hope he don't just fall off by the wayside.
Yeah, and I think he'll be a good action hero if he's doing other things, because I think he's real talented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I think he'd be good in an action hero thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think a lot of it is that we just hate to see a great character go away.
Yeah.
More so than anything. I mean, it was a good character, right. And you just kind of hate to see it go away, as you know that it will.
He's funny
This
too.
is his
That
last character.
Oh my
That's
God,
movie.
he is absolutely funny.
Yeah.
The things that they've
Him and
they've
Mantis
done
together.
with
Him
him.
and Mantis together.
That is a duo for the decades, man. I love them two together.
I'm sorry, Sonny, go ahead.
No, I was same thing. I mean, it's just you just hate to see the character go, and it's such chemistry. The character adds something to the team, and so hopefully whoever they get is going to have to do that. I mean, I think we're pretty sure it won't be Thor because they were happy to get rid of Thor.
Well,
but
I don't think it's a necessarily big secret. A lot of the big speculation is that somebody's going to die in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I think by this happening, it kind of co-signs to the fact that it might be Drax. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
I mean, with that said, it can.
Wasn't in the comic book, Drax died in the comics,
Right?
And was resurrected. I think he was killed. If I'm not mistaken, he was killed by Thanos once in the comics, and he came back. They brought him back to life. He was a shell of himself.
Right.
He wasn't the same.
Right.
Almost, So, I mean, there's always ways to. You could have another Drax just through that, but well, I don't think they'll do it because there's too many characters out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing about it. I mean, like I said, when it comes to the comic book realm, death is just a different plot twist later on.
Right.
That's right. It's not even a real thing.
Yeah.
So they can always bring him back, and of course, unless he, Lord forbid, Dave Bautista actually dies,
right.
So the thing about it is, like I said, I think that's one of the biggest things is that it kind of like I said, it kind of cosigns that they're saying somebody's going to die, and him leaving, that it's going to naturally be Drax. But I think that's I think honestly, if it does happen, it's good because I think the only reason he was there was really to defend his family's death, because I think Thanos killed his family and everything. So,
right.
I mean, it's kind of like that. What's that end scene in Gladiator? You remember when he got stabbed and he was dying, and he was he was seeing his family run across the field and everything. Right. I think it's kind of like that thing. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying it's a good way to wrap it up. To wrap up his character. He gets to see his family. He gets to be with his family because he had a hand in avenging their death.
You would sort of think that would be the natural progression, that he would be the one that dies because Batista is leaving the thing, but I'm not so convinced, because you're fighting the High Evolutionary, and the High Evolutionary created Rocket Raccoon, or had a part in it. Matter of fact, he's still doing experimentations. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be Groot for the shock factor. He done already died once and looked almost
first one. Yeah, he's the first one to perish.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking either Drax or Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. I mean, matter of fact, it'd be. This movie would be the third person to perish, because then Gamora, she died. She was killed.
But and they're looking for her because there is a Gamora out there without the.
And that, honestly, I don't see them wrapping all that up in this movie. So I believe that there'll be another movie after that, because they need to. I don't know if her and Peter Quill will ever be love interest again. I don't know that. But I think her being on the team again, they need to wrap that up.
On the flip side, isn't the writer going over to the DCU?
Yeah. We talked about that last week. That's
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah.
So but I mean, it's still under Marvel. you know, he still had to follow Marvel's guidelines. It was just his vision of how it
Right.
was put on the screen,
How it's going to be,
how it's
Yeah.
executed and everything. So,
right.
you know, and I think they have enough. I think whoever takes over the mantle of replacing Gunn and picking up Guardians of the Galaxy, they have enough examples to see what direction he was going in. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if they do it right, they will maintain the integrity of the brand, Guardians
Right.
of the Galaxy and everything. So, but yeah, I think, you know, I don't know. Rocket Raccoon is, but I don't know. I just see so much happen. I still see so much happening with Rocket. I don't know if he'd be the one though.
I hope he doesn't die. I like Rocket.
You know what I'm saying? Because him and Groot are they're together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're you know. I'm
Man,
not
I
saying it's
think
not going to happen. I just don't see it.
I think after the podcast, if it ain't too late, I'm going back and rewatch the first Guardians movie.
Yeah, well, I've done it, man. I've over the last couple of weeks, I watched everything. So trust me, I've revisited all that stuff. Okay, and also another thing that they've been talking about is Robert Downey Jr. returning as Tony Stark, and you know he's possibly going to be back in either Secret Wars and or Armor Wars. So I think one of the ways that they're saying that he's going to come back is as you know he'll be the Jarvis
The AI.
as AI,
Yeah.
which I can totally see him implanting his intellect. Like what's his name from the German oh God, what's his name?
Captain America. He was in the
Captain America. That
he downloaded himself into that old computer.
Armand Zoloff.
I can't remember his name.
Zoloff. Is that,
Zoloff.
Yeah, I can see him kind of doing that. I can kind of see him doing that.
Or he could be AI for Ironheart's suit. Because she's gonna need help. Her series is coming out.
Yeah, but how would she? Because they didn't. I don't think they met in that though. How would she get?
They didn't have to meet because she. What if Stark Industries take her on like in the comic, take her on, and she creates the suit, her new suit through Stark Enterprises, because she's gonna have to create her. She's not gonna have a vibranium suit anymore because they kept that one. So she's gonna have to come out with. I did too. I like that suit. I thought she.
Why you?
I thought that suit was well.
To take all that away.
But what if he becomes AI for the Ironheart suit to help lead her in a direction?
I don't see another thing. And honestly, I don't think he can still. Spider-Man can still have that option later. And I don't know if I don't even know if Sony's still going to lend him to Marvel or not. But I think I don't know.
I don't see how they would not, because
they making money without even having to make a movie.
I'm not even concerned whether or not they're going to lend him. I'm curious to see how he's going to be remembered again.
How he's going to even exist.
How he's going to be, but because he exists. But that spell.
Well, I'm just saying, exist in this new world.
That's what I'm waiting to see. Because to me, that last Spider-Man movie, the way they brought everybody together, I think that was just
I'm sorry, that was up there with Endgame for me.
That was badass. I mean, that was genius. I try not to be surprised on a lot of these movies, and that just took me totally by surprise.
Yeah. It didn't take me by surprise. I felt it because they had what's his name, the British guy who played Spider-Man. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He was on Jimmy Kimmel or no Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon was specifically asking him about that, and then there was some snippets leaked about there was a green screen behind him and everything. He said, "No, that was photoshopped." I'm like, I don't know, brother. I don't know. Maybe it was just me being hopeful or being like, no, I really want this. But I'm like, no, that don't sound right. Because I saw that, and there was this uh, um, there was this YouTube channel. It's called Corridor Effects. There's these special effects and CGI guys, and they do all types of different CGI, and they broke down that clip and everything, and they said it was fake, but then they said something in there that made me look like, I'm like, no, that's not true, because I use Photoshop, and I know, of course I'm in IT, and they said something. I said, no, that's not true. I said, it's almost like they were paid to do that. It's almost like they was paid to debunk it. And
I don't put it past. I mean, the effect that whole scene had with all the Spider-Man there together. I mean, yeah, you want to hide that.
And also they had the movie trailer. They had the bad guys jumping out in one direction, and they had the one Spider-Man jump in this direction. And in one of them, the bad guys was focused on. They were all focused in different areas. They weren't focused on the one Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that's one of the things they brought up. I say, yeah, okay, yeah. So I was like, no, that didn't make any sense. I think the other Spider-Man gonna be in there, and of course, it came out that they were. So I've always hoped and I felt that they were all three gonna be in there. But like you said, when they brought them all in.
The Spider-Man and the best villains. I mean, let's not forget they brought all the cool villains back.
And I like how they wrapped it up by helping them out, helping them overcome their afflictions and all that too. And that really did the storyline a good thing.
Especially with Doc Ock. I mean, I've always had kind of I always felt Doc Ock was kind of a victim of circumstance.
Right. Which is one of my comments why I had about Scarlet Witch. And I'm not going to go over it again. But my comments. So if for those who didn't catch it, just go look at my comments about Scarlet Witch in the other episode.
I think Scarlet Witch had a nervous breakdown. Right. That's what I think. I think that's what she had in the series. Obviously, in the series, she had a nervous breakdown.
There you go.
And it carried over into the movie. She had a nervous breakdown.
She did.
And unfortunately, when you're as powerful as that, you're going to zap any doctor that tries to come and treat you.
Yeah, exactly. And, as in Doctor Strange, I get you. I see what you did. I see what you did. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, I as far as the Robert Downey Jr. returning and everything, I mean, him coming back as an AI is a great way to do it.
Yeah,
it's a great way to do it. It fits his intellect. It fits. It fits all the reasoning and everything, and I think that will also give him a lot of flexibility in the future films and everything.
And it might even, you said he was slated to come back in Secret Wars. That's fighting against the Skrulls. It could be a Skrull. He coming back as a Skrull playing him.
Right. And we've seen some of the I don't know if y'all have now. I've seen some of the posters. Promo pictures for that movie, and they've got like Nick Fury with the picture and the scroll chin. I mean, so it's going to be some it's going to be some folks looking a little different in that. The question is it going to be one of those things where they just came, or is it going to be one of those things that all along we've been looking at the scroll? So.
I think a little bit of both, because if you look in, I mean, I think they was here back in the first movie in the I was about to say Captain America,
Captain
Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
she was chasing him through the blockbuster.
Yeah. So I think,
and there's the old woman on the train.
Smiling, he hit him, but like I said, they had already infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they've been here could have been here for, decades. You know what I'm saying? So you never know.
Yeah.
All right. So the next point that I think we have is the final season of Flash. Anybody been keeping up with Flash?
No. I watched Flash and I love the TV show, but life and all these other stuff, something had to fall to the wayside, and unfortunately for me, it was Flash. But I enjoyed the first 4 seasons that I watched.
So,
What season is this?
oh, I think we're getting on. Hold on. We're coming up on February. February 8th is going to start season 9,
Okay.
and it's going to be 13 episodes.
I think they did well with 9 seasons of Flash
Oh, they did.
consistency.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sitting here struggling going through the season 8 that's on Netflix, and I think they kind of run into this repetitive cycle, and they just insert bad guy, and the story becomes the same.
It's been like that from season 1. I've watched 4 seasons, and this is the fastest man alive. And what you hear come out his mouth every episode is, "I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast enough."
And he's always learning something new about his power. And this season, so far, I counted. I may miscount about 4 or 5 new people learned he's the Flash. It seems like every season, about 4, 5, 6 people learn he's the Flash. So you got about 45, 50 people who know who's the Flash. You know what I'm saying right now. And I'm not talking about other suits. I'm just like regular folks. I'm like, he should just go ahead and put a billboard up. Hey, I'm the Flash. You know what I'm saying? Just get it over with. You know, hi, I'm Barry Allen. I'm the Flash. You know, catch my OnlyFans. Something. I don't know. I don't. It just. I don't get. Outside of that, I just don't understand how I know my constant complaint about sci-fi writing is it gets old, it gets repetitive, but it just seems like the creativity starts falling short after a while with sci-fi writing. They either rehash old plots or old villains, or they dumb down the hero.
Well, I think in TV, TV is going to be much different than movies, because you got a 2-hour movie and you got to stretch a TV show out.
And you got a budget,
and you got a budget and all of this kind of stuff. So, I think maybe the writing for the TV show is a little bit more on the corny side. Well, a lot more on the corny side.
It is. And it just gets to a point where it just gets insulting to my integrity, which is one of the reasons. I mean, not insulting to my intelligence, which is one of the reasons I stopped watching The Walking Dead, which is my next topic. I stopped watching it in the 3rd season, and I'm gonna get on my Walking Dead rant doing that. But I'm on my Flash thing right now. But I feel like the Flash is the same way they're getting with the Arrow, Green Arrow. When that final season came up, I was happy. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
because it just started getting repetitive, and it just starts getting to a point. I'm like, God, I know
it got good when they brought out Deathstroke.
Yeah,
but then after that, I was like, yeah.
Because sometimes it's like the Flash. He fights these villains and fights these bad guys. That I'm like, dude, all you got to do is run over there and just hit him in the jaw, and this is it. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll come out, he'll talk to him. Hey, I'm the Flash, and you got anything you want to say before I arrest you? And then they'll get the jump on him. They'll do something stupid. And I'm like, dude, you didn't see that coming? You didn't.
Yeah.
First of all, why are you talking to him? Go over there and knock him out, and then arrest him, and then let's move on with our lives.
Yeah, it won't be a show then, Carlos. We gotta.
Don't dumb down. Okay, cool. make it a stronger, better villain.
Better villain, right?
Don't dumb down the character. Don't dumb down the
And
superhero.
The first 2 or 3 seasons, he was fighting the speed demon, a speed god, or and then it was Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
I mean, all of his villains in the first, it seems most of the prime villains in the first 3 seasons were speedsters.
Speedsters, right.
And they were always faster than him. and he would always, they would always start off the thing, I'm Barry Allen, I'm the fastest man alive. No, you're not.
Yeah, you're right. And this is the other thing. In season 8, he's still going to the guy who was the Reverse Flash. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
The professor. He's still going to him for help.
Yeah.
The guy's locked up. He's going to him for help. And I'm like, and dude is helping him. I'm like, he's trying to kill you and you're going to him for lessons. I don't get it.
Maybe he keeps seeing, because there was a good version of him out, around season 4 or 5, 3 or 4, something like that. They just had the same face. Do you see
Superman going to Lex Luthor and say, "Help me out, Lex. I got a problem." I mean, do you see that? I mean, I don't understand him. He gets stuck, and he goes to the same dude that's being. I don't, and then he'll get to a point where I don't trust you. Like, but you go to him for help.
You're right.
I don't get it. Like, what are you doing?
Let me be honest.
Does he still have the future AI room?
Yes.
Yeah. See,
I could never get into any of the CW stuff past the first few episodes because they reminded me a little of the old Batman series without the Bam, Biff, and Bob. I mean, but the predictability.
Some of it was pretty good. Like the Smallville was good to a point to where it took the last season for him to realize he could fly.
Yeah.
He would run everywhere. You remember, Carlos?
I'm going to exclude Smallville because I think Smallville probably had some real decent writing. It dealt with some different stuff. Not necessarily just purely superhero stuff.
Right.
Hey, they had the Wonder Twins.
But then they got cheesy.
It's been cheesy. It's always cheesy.
It's extra cheesy.
And I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get the one that I got into was Batgirl. And then they changed Batgirls because old girl quit.
Yeah.
And then it just threw me off. So thank you, DC. You have continued to do me on your TV series like you do me in your movies.
Well, that brings me to the next one, which is the final season of The Walking Dead. Did anyone of y'all watch the final season?
There again, I've watched the first 2 seasons and I was done.
It's only so many running from zombies I could take. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my God.
I have learned what The Walking Dead has taught me to make sure I don't run in front of somebody else who's also running from the zombies because they will probably shoot me or do something to trip me up. So, I could be zombie food and give them a chance to get away.
Well, okay, here's my Walking Dead rant. For those who like Walking Dead, I'm not gonna say pleasant things about it. I'm gonna say very, very bad things about it because I think it's stupid. I think it's very stupid. And again, just like in the superheroes, they dumb down the characters, but they don't make more complex or smarter villains or bad guys. All right. Number one thing. You're in the world of zombies. Zombies are everywhere. We see them. We know that they exist. They go foraging through these houses for food. Before they forage through the house, they look for zombies, right? They go look in the basement. They go looking over here. And they go look over here. Then all of a sudden they get complacent and somewhere in the house they start relaxing and they'll start talking or do something. Then all of a sudden a doorknob or something, a door open and a zombie will fall out of the closet. And I'm like, did you not check the fucking closet? I'm like, what? You checked the whole house.
Here's the thing that used to get me the times that I've watched it. Why do you go into towns where why do you go into centers where people live?
Right.
Where a lot of people live.
Right.
I mean, don't you think there might be a few zombies?
Might be a few zombies there.
And the other thing, do these people eventually totally decompose to nothing?
That's my next point.
And the whole series has lasted, the TV series has lasted about 5 times as longer than the comic book series did.
No, the comics is still going.
MASH
The
comics is still going.
4 times. Well, I mean, wasn't it like a?
It was a miniseries.
It was a limited run at first.
No, it's always been
I thought it was a limited run at first.
No, it's always been an ongoing.
Okay. All right, my next point. All right. So there again, you're in a world of zombies. Everything has fallen. The laws have fallen away. The justice system has fallen away. Everything. You run across another person. This person tries to kill you. For whatever reason. You get away from this person. You get the upper hand on this person, but you do not kill this person. You let them live for whatever reason. Then this person comes back and kills somebody else. And that person then tries to kill you again. But then this person gets away again. Listen, if I'm in a lawless state and everything is totally collapsed, you try to kill me, you're dead if I get away. We're not going to do the back and forth. I'm not going to give you an opportunity to kill somebody else. You're out of here. The number of times that they've given bad people a chance. You know, what's that guy Negan? You know, at the end, Negan, he's actually turned good. But I'm like, there's been so many times they could have just let this dude go. I mean, there's so much that they've let him go or gotten away from him or had the opportunity to get the jump, whatever. Could have just killed him and been done with it. I don't understand that. When you're in the lawless state and people are showing them their true self, that's who they are. Wipe them off the earth. Get rid of them. Because you already got to deal with zombies. You don't need to deal with this crazy maniac coming after you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's I've never understood that. Another thing is the zombies, they can't climb. They're not agile. They're slow moving. How do you get overrun by them? How do you allow yourself to be put in the corner, in the place where you're in the corner? If I'm going in the building, listen. If I'm going in the building, I'm yelling, I'm shouting. I'm shouting at the door. If you don't come running at me, right? If I don't see, okay, but you're not going to get me to a point when I'm on top of a bookshelf with a stick pushing you away. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Like I said, I've seen it. It happens time and time again after, in episode after episode. Now, my one big thing that really got me riled up, and I wanted to stop watching it right then. There was this one scene. I forgot the guy, the one in the early season. He had the mullet, and he said that he had the cure for the zombies or whatever. Y'all remember that guy?
I don't remember.
I forgot the name. I forgot the name of his character. Eugene. It was Eugene. And he was walking with Abraham and a couple other characters. Okay. So they come up to the city, right? And this is this little small town. They run across a fire engine. They're getting overrun by zombies. The guy with the mullet, the guy who plays Eugene, he gets on this fire engine. The fire engine could not start, by the way. But the high pressure hose on top, he was able to turn it on and dissolve all the zombies, which led to don't they decompose? High pressure water dissolves them. Okay? And when I say dissolves, I mean turn them to liquid. Okay. He kills all the zombies with the high pressure hose, and they get off of the fire engine and they start walking away. And I'm like, oh, dude, you just figured out a way to kill the zombies.
Right.
Go fix the fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got to go get a manual or whatever you need. Go fix the fire engine and fill it up with water. What else do you need?
So they fighting a bunch of wicked witches of the West, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they totally dissolve.
My issue with zombie movies, with all except World War Z, is you very rarely, you did in I forgot that Will Smith movie. I can't think. I Am Legend. But you very rarely get to define what caused it, and you hardly ever get a cure.
That's my other thing.
And I don't like that. Part of my being entertained is give me at least an origin story, which is why I like I Am Legend. And let me have some kind of positive ending. Right. Or ending, even if it's negative ending, at least show me what the cure could have been. Well, and you just didn't get it in time.
The closest thing I saw was in the Resident Evil movie, and I forgot which one it was. It was in the Resident Evil. I forgot which one it was. They didn't necessarily find the cure. Well, they have a cure, but they didn't find it. But they put something in the air that killed them all instantly, and it spread around the world.
And The Walking Dead did have an episode where, this is one of the few I happened to see where they made it to Atlanta. Well, they were already in Atlanta, but they went to the CDC,
right? And
something or another happened that apparently folks in India figured out that it was the part of the brain that kept you alive, and you shot somebody in the head, they died, and all that, and the great secret was everybody had the virus already. Right. Whatever the virus was, everybody had it now. And then
it was in the air.
Something happened and the CDC blew up or something. I mean, something got loose or whatever.
Right, but that's what, like, even if you died of natural causes, you would become a zombie because you died. So you have to be brain dead. They'll shoot you. Yeah, somebody had to shoot you in the brain after you passed away. So, I mean, like I said, after a while, that series got kind of redundant and just started insulting my intelligence after a while. So I stopped watching it. So, but I did see the wrap up on it. I didn't see the whole last season. There was a wrap up on YouTube, and it kind of ended in a decent way. The zombie still existed and all that, but they were able to coexist or something. Yeah. But there's a couple of spinoffs that's happening there that I didn't see. I didn't see Dawn of the Walking Dead. I didn't see any of that.
I tried to watch that.
The Dawn of the Walking Dead is supposed to go into the beginning of it, how everything fell apart. So I didn't see any of it.
And it didn't really get into the origin piece, which I thought it was going to talk about how it started. But basically, it was pretty much like, okay, this is another part of the country. And they didn't know what was going on over here, and it just kind of
Well, but like I said, I'm not gonna rant on too longer. I don't want to go on and on because
Albert had something hard in his lap that were slabs that he was going to show us.
Oh, well, not quite all of them are slabs. We was talking about last week or last episode. We were talking about James Gunn, and I picked this book up. And I know it's backwards on the thing, but Omega Man, they was talking about this is the first appearance of Lobo.
Right.
And they were saying that they may use him, in the upcoming DC.
Oh yeah, somebody was supposed to be playing Lobo.
They were saying the guy that plays Aquaman would make a good Lobo.
Yeah,
which he would. Yeah.
But they can
also,
but he's already doing Aquaman. What could he do?
Yeah, but if you scrap it and start over, I mean,
yeah, because they're supposed to reboot everything.
Yeah, but I'm sure they could find another Lobo if need be. Also picked up this here. I know it's backwards, but it's
not backwards.
Submariner. Oh, it's not. It's backwards on my screen. I'm sorry. Submariner #1, 5.5. I picked that up last week.
How much is that?
I bought this here where I took some trade in. It was $275.
Hey, can you be sure to leave that someplace where I can steal it? Borrow it from you.
Yeah, right. Okay. Then I wanted to show this. This was a Black Panther #1, and this shows Shuri as the Black Panther in comics. I picked this up at a convention. I know I'm not a 9/8 buff, but I picked it up for $50, price still on it. So that was a pretty good pickup. And then I did a trade with a friend of mine who got this book in a trade, and it's a Chadwick Boseman, and there's 2 artists for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So one artist did this side and the other did this side, and it was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. And he asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, "Yeah, that is too cool." In his Jackie Robinson and T'Challa, yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not Chadwick Boseman. T'Challa.
Yeah. Cool. So that was my little show and tell. I got one other book, but I'm gonna save it for another day.
Cool. Well, I think the only other topic we got is the new Avatar movie. Has anybody seen that yet?
Nah,
I have not seen it yet. I know some folks who have seen it. I'm just not one of them yet.
I haven't been interested myself.
I hadn't either. I'm like,
So I've been interested, but I've been scared because I have this high expectation. Because when our first movie came out, I was in awe by it, and a part of that awesomeness or awestruck reason I was awestruck by it was because it looked different from any other movie I'd seen. And even though, I'm gonna be honest, I really wasn't wowed by the story as much as I was wowed by the imagery.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking, well, what if this movie is not as good? And I'm not really a big fan about the length of the movie. But so far, what I've heard folks tell me is the story is not that great. Well, I take that back. The story is okay, but still the imagery is nice. And I just got to read an article by James Cameron, and where he was being interviewed. And apparently the movie has made enough to where, they already had the third movie already made. But he said the next movie is going to introduce you to, I guess, some not so nice people on the planet. And those movies are all to serve as an introduction. And then the final movies are supposed to be the meat of the series.
Okay.
So
you saying that makes me want to watch it now, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't too much think the first movie was all that. Matter of fact, matter of fact, I've only seen the first movie one time. I've never even had any interest to go back and see it.
Me either. I've only seen it once.
Well, when he said that, when I read that in that article, and I think I read that this morning, I believe. When I read that, and I think all of us who are especially comic book buffs understand that when we see the original movies, the first movies in a comic series, we'll hear people say, well, it was kind of slow. We know that origin piece takes a while to build up. So when I read that, I was like, okay, now he's got me hooked. Mm-hmm. So I also wanted to make sure this movie was going to make $1.5 billion mm-hmm. to see if they were actually going to be able to make another.
Well, it's made about $2 billion.
So it's made enough money. So I should say to see if they're going to make a fourth one, because they've already got the third one in the can.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people.
It got me.
I've talked. Well, not a lot of people. I've heard some comments online about some people saying that it's like this generation's Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Because when Star Wars first came out, it was, that first movie was great. The second movie, then it just built this cult following and everything. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like in the same vein. But like I said, I just think people were more awestruck about the CGI and the special effects and everything of it. And of course, they've never seen anything like that before. I've been meaning to go back and watch it just to see, get one of those, like, maybe I'm missing something type feelings from it,
I don't think, yeah. You know what, the movie, and y'all, I really look at the movie once, but I take in a lot, and very rarely do I see a movie more than once. But the movie,
I can't say that. I've seen some movies plenty of times.
I've seen some movies.
I just I never wanted to see that one again. Once was enough for me.
I mean, but the storyline was not that complicated to me. Once again, the imagery is what got me, and because it was something, those effects were something that you never really had seen up until that time. So,
right.
I guess it was sort of like the video game. You remember the Mist, Carlos?
Yeah.
The Mist had no substance. Yeah. But the video part of it was nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess this movie, I mean, I know we're talking about it, and this new Avatar movie, we're not talking about it intelligently because we haven't seen it. But I think this is going to be one of the movies I can wait till it comes out on something that's streaming. Like if it comes out on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, I'll watch it then. I'm not gonna go to the movies to watch it. The next movie that I go see is gonna be the Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm gonna be there with you.
So yeah, we gotta lock in a date here, because I want to make sure that we got good seats and and all that stuff. So
if you lock it in far enough, maybe I'll be there with you as well. I actually have to turn in my schedule tomorrow. So,
all right.
So,
yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, it's just. No. Like I said, this is one of the movies I just haven't had a deep interest in, so I can just wait till it comes out on something streaming. Then if I have a big enough TV that I can act like I'm at the theater. I'll pop enough popcorn to get the smell going in the house. So. But yeah, it's just not. I just haven't had the interest to even to go see that movie, man. So but that's it. That's all I got. Avatar and everything, and talk about Walking Dead. We talked about all the good sci-fi stuff. Had a good Dr. Umar and Wakanda discussion.
Oh yeah,
Wakanda forever
and everything. So I think that's about it. And unless y'all got something that y'all want to talk about.
Not on this episode.
No, I think we've covered it all for this episode.
Covered it, yeah. All right, man. Well,
we'll reload.
What you say?
So we'll reload for the next one.
We'll reload. Well, everybody, we appreciate that y'all tuning in again, and we appreciate y'all for coming back. Please leave comments and everything. Anything that you'd like us to talk about, anything that you want us to go over. Let us know how you feel about what we said. Because we said we talked about a few things. Let us know about something on the previous episode. I'll read it. I'll read the comments and everything on the future episodes. and that way we can get some feedback and everything, and we'll totally respond to you. So again, we appreciate you spending time with us, and we'll see y'all next time. Y'all be safe.
All right.
Bye.